Yeah, good evening, all. Welcome to TCS NQT 2026 coding training, day 8. Hope you are all doing well. Started your preparation, preparing well for the upcoming TCS NQT exam. So, still, if anyone need to apply, okay, so apply for the recruitment drive immediately. It's a mass hiring happening in TCS for different roles. Okay, so 9 LPA, 7 LPA. Based on your test score, you will be selected for one of these roles. Prepare well for the examination. Okay, so it's a good opportunity for 2026 batch students, even for 2025 and 2024 batch also. So still, if you are struggling to get into IT sector, okay, so this is a good opportunity. So today we will solve one more important problem, which is asked in previous TCS NQT examination. Yeah, hope audio is clear to you. Am I audible? Okay, please respond. Is my audio clear? Say yes or no. Yeah, so we'll proceed with the problem. Now, this is the problem asked in 2023 examination conducted on 19th August, slot 1. So in slot 1 examination, this is one of the coding questions asked. Okay, so the problem statement is as follows. Ayush is working on a strange algorithm where he wants to convert a string from A to B. Both the strings of equal length. Now, the person Ayush wants to develop a strange new algorithm, okay, so in which he wants to convert a string A into B, having equal length. Both the strings are having equal length of n here. Okay, so how to convert? For that, the rules are given here. Okay, and another important point I would like to add at this point. Uh, Friends, the problem statement is given like a story. Okay, so don't worry about the problem statement. It will be given in the form of a story, and you should have patience to read this problem statement and understand it. Okay, so generally it will be given in the form of a story in online examinations, hiring examinations. Okay, right. So you should spend some time and understand, read each and every line and understand the question asked in this story kind of a thing. Okay, right. So below are the rules which can be performed to convert a string. Okay, so string A and B are of equal length. This is the first rule. And even if you develop create a new string, it should have the same length of a previous string. Then both of them are in lowercase. This is another important point to be noted. Choose a subset X from the string A. Okay, so you need to convert string A into B, no? So from string A, you need to choose a subset, okay, between the index from 1 to n. So let S be the letter which alphabetically comes before all other letters in the subset. Okay, so whatever subset you have chosen, okay, so in this subset, okay, so let S is the letter which comes alphabetically before all other letters. Okay, so you have selected some letters in this. Okay, so this side you have some letters and this side you have some letters. Okay, so from all these letters, S is the smallest letter which comes first in alphabetical order. Okay, so let S be called the smallest element in the subset. Okay, so assume that S is the smallest element in this subset. Okay, so subset means it is a part of the string. Okay, so you are selecting a part of the string and that is called a subset. Okay, so few characters you are selecting from the original string A, that is called a subset. Okay, so in that subset, S is the letter out of all the letters present in this subset. Now this is your subset selected. Okay, so S is the smallest letter, that means comes first in alphabetical order. Okay, so we call it as the smallest element in the subset. Now what you need to do is replace all the elements of subset with the letter S. So you need to replace remaining elements present in the subset. Okay, so all these elements you need to replace with the S. Whatever is the smallest element, you need to replace all other elements with the S. Okay, so these are the rules given for converting a string A to B. Okay, so by following these rules, finally you need to convert the string A to B. Okay, so what is the question asked here? Find minimum number of moves which is required to perform the conversion. Okay, so that means if you select a subset and replace all these, okay, again select another subset and replace the letters with smallest element. Like this, if you go on performing such moves, okay, so in how many minimum number of moves you can convert the string A into B? That is what asked here. Okay, so if it is not possible to convert the string from A to B, B means here capital B here, so then return a -1. If it is not possible, then you should return a -1. This is the given problem statement. Okay, so ultimately it is a string related problem. Two strings are given to you, string A and string B. So what you need to do? You need to convert string A into string B. So while converting, how many moves, minimum number of moves are required to convert this A into B? Okay, so that is what asked here. Okay, so for conversion, the rules are given here. These are the rules. How you can perform that conversion? By following these rules, selecting a subset and replacing all letters with the smallest letter in that subset. So once when you read these problem statements, so at least you should understand the problem 50% in one or two readings. Okay, so if you understand the problem up to 50%. You can remaining 50% you can get it from examples. Okay, so examples will be given to you and explanation also will be given. From that you can get the clarity. So let us try to understand it with example. Suppose there are two strings given here. Okay, so capital A is ABC AB, this is the first string, and B is AAB AB, this is the second string. So you need to convert A to B. That means this string you need to convert into this form. Okay, so first operation is performing here. Okay, so what given here, this entire explanation is given to you. Only thing is you should read this explanation and understand the problem clearly. Now we have chosen a subset S. Assume that we have chosen a subset S. Let us say we have taken index 2, 3, 5. Okay, so he has chosen the index 2, 3, 5. Okay, so for this 2, 3, 5 from the string A he has chosen. Okay, so 2, 3, 5 means which characters here? So here in example he starts the index from 1. That means he assumes that first character is at index 1, second character is at index 2. Okay, so that's how it is given. Okay, so then the subset S becomes BCB. Now you can see here, so this is index 2 element, this is index 3 element, and this is index 5 elements. So BCB is the subset selected. Next we have to choose the smallest element, which is B here in B and C. Okay, so this subset contains now two letters B and C. So from this, B is the smallest letter in this subset. Okay, so what we need to do next, we have to replace all other elements in the subset with this element. Okay, so B will replace everything in BCB. Okay, so which becomes, if you replace, then this becomes BBB. Okay, so all other letters will be replaced with that smallest element. Okay, so there is only one letter C that will be replaced with B, then the subset becomes BBB. Okay, so now what we need to do, now we replace all respective elements back to their respective index. Okay, so this will update the original string as a ABB. That means once when you have the original string as ABC AB, okay, so when your subset contains the letters BBB after conversion, okay, so then you push back these into their respective indices. What are the indices here? 2, 3 and 5. So this is index 2, this is index 3, this is index 5 element. Okay, so you can push here. Index 2 already B is there, no need to change. Index 3 C is there, now you replace this with B. Okay, index 5 already B is there, no need to replace. Now in operation 1, after performing this move change, okay, so then it becomes ABB. This is in one move it has changed. Okay, so is it equal to B? No, still we need to perform one more operation. Let us see. Like this you should go on performing the operation. So then in the second operation, this is the original string formed after first move. Okay, ABB. Now again same rules you should apply here. So we have to choose a subset S. Okay, so this time understand that we have taken index 1, 2, 4. Okay, so index 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Sorry, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 4 has been taken from A. Okay, so then the subset becomes ABA. The characters at 1, 2, 4 are ABA. Okay, so next we have to choose the smallest element. Okay, so what is the smallest element here? It is nothing but a small a here. So the smallest element is small a in this subset. So what we need to do, we need to replace all other elements with this smallest elements. Okay, so what a will replace everything in ABA, so which becomes AAA. So if you replace, there is only one character, B is there. So if you replace it with A, then your subset becomes AAA. So again, what you need to do, you need to place it back to the original string. Okay, so these new characters you should place in the original string. So we will place respective elements back to their. So once you place the original string will become as ABB. Okay, so AAB. That means AB. B, A, B. Okay, so what characters you need to replace? 1, 2 and 4. Okay, so A, This is the subset form. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 4 characters. 1 already A is there, no need to change. 2 B is there. Now you replace this with A. Okay, at 4 A is there already, no need to change. So now it becomes A B. This is exactly same as a string B. Okay, so that means it is possible to convert string A to B in this case. Okay, so with how many operations? With the 2 operations. So the answer is 2. This is how the explanation is provided to you. So from this explanation, you should understand the problem clearly. Okay, so it is how it is given. So what he is doing, he is selecting a subset and then he is replacing the smallest element in that subset. All other characters are replaced, again placed back in the original string. Okay, so if you, until you get the string B, okay, so you should go on performing such operations, and number of operations performed are nothing but number of moves, and you go on count them, and that gives the minimum number of operations required. Then there is another example also given here. Okay, so input 2 indicates that the number of length of the each string here, number of characters in each string. Okay, so DE is the string A and CD is an input string B here. Okay, so here the answer is given as a -1. Okay, so explanation is also provided for this. Let us understand this. Now in the above example, we can clearly see that there is an alphabet in A which completely different from B. Okay, so hence it is not possible to convert A to B. So the answer is -1. That is what he is saying. Okay, so A contains D, E, and C contains B contains CD. Okay, so now from example 1, from previous example, if we understand, now if we select this is string A here. Okay, so we select a subset here since there are only 2 characters. Okay, so if we select the subset, okay, so your subset becomes DE, only 2 characters. Okay, so what is the smallest character in this? D is the smallest character. Okay, so now replace this with all other characters, you replace with D. Okay, so then your new subset becomes DD. Okay, so then replace these characters into the original string. If you replace, what you will get? D you will get. But what is B here? B is C D here. C D. Okay, so that's why you cannot get, because D is the smallest in these two. Okay, so you cannot obtain this B as per our previous understanding. Okay, so that's why the answer is -1. Got it? Then there is a example 2 also provided. Okay, so length of each string is 4 characters. AB. It is given string A, and AA string B you should get. And the output is 1. For this also the explanation is given. Okay. Now from this AB. Now what you need to get? You need to get A. Okay. Now see, the first 3 characters are same. Only this character needs to be changed. Okay. So when this has to be changed, what you need to do is you need to select a subset. Okay. So such that it contains smallest element than this. Okay. So 3, 4 you can select, 1, 4 you can select. Okay. But you cannot select 2 and 4. Okay, so this is the character by which you need to replace. So that's why you select a character containing this character in a. This is B here. Okay, so 3, 4, 1, 4, any subset you can select. So here in example it is given as a 3, 4. AB, he has selected the subset here. So what we need to do, smallest element is A here, replace, then you will get the subset as A. Okay, so if you replace back to original string, okay, so your original string changes to A. Okay, so it is index 3, 4 now. 3, 4. So 1, 2 index same. Index 3 also contains A, no need to change. And index 4, now you change to A, which is equal to B. So that means in one operation, you can get the string B here. Okay, so that is what the explanation is given here. Okay, so AB now becomes AA. Okay, so if you replace everything, now ABAA, the original string changes to ABAA, which is same as a B. So that's why the answer is 1 here. Okay, so this is the explanation provided here. Okay, now how do we know that? Okay, so which characters to replace? That is the trickiest point in this problem. How to identify which characters to change? Okay, so that means what we need to do now, we'll go with the diagram. Okay, so constraints also given. Let us understand the constraints. N is integer up to 1000 here. Only lowercase letters of English alphabet. Okay, so length of AB should be N here. Now understand the input format. Okay, so first line contains N, second line contains string A, next line contains the string B, and the output is an integer as per above logic. Okay, so additional messages in output will cause failure of test cases, clearly given here. Okay, so instructions also given here. System does not allow any kind of hard coded input values. Okay, so written program code by the candidate will be verified against the inputs which are supplied from the system. Okay, so no coding will be provided. You need to write the entire code. So every line you should read properly and you should understand. Now let us work out. Okay, so given the string A, B, C, A, B. Okay, so this is the string A given here. Okay, so then string B, we need to convert this into A, B. Okay, then A, B. Now it is differing in these two characters. It is differing in these two characters. Okay, but how to identify which character needs to be changed here? Which character needs to be changed? Okay, so that we should understand. Okay, before this, we'll work out another important point for the failure case. Okay, -1. He said no. Here in this case, how we can identify that we cannot do the conversion here, DE and CD in this case. Okay, so if you see the string A contains the letters D and E here. Okay, and string B contains the letters C and D. Okay, so I write this here itself so that I can show all of them. Okay, so this is another test case. A contains the DE. Okay, B contains CD. Okay, so like this you write down all the input strings given test cases. Okay, and observe them carefully. Why it is not possible here? Why it is possible here? If it is possible, what he is doing in this? What he is doing in this? Now, if you observe this, see here, A, B, C, A, B is converted to A, B, A, B. Okay, so that means this B is converted to A and this C is converted to B. Okay, right? Okay, so that means the B, C in A are converted to A, B. Okay, which are less than the given characters. Which are less than the given characters, and also this A and B must present in the string A. Then only it is possible. Yes or no? Okay, so the rule says that always replace with the smallest element. replace with the smallest element. Okay, so that means B should be replaced with a smallest element. So A is the next smallest element in string A. Okay, so then it is replaced with. Then C, next smallest element B, it should be replaced. B is present in A. Okay, it can be replaced. Okay, that means the all the characters you can finally conclude like this. Okay, so all the characters present in A must present in B must present in A. Then only it is possible. Then only it is possible for conversion. This is one observation you should make. Okay, so the characters in B must present in A. Okay, then only it is possible, because it must be replaced with the smallest. If you select some subset, okay, so these characters always replace with the smallest element. So if that smallest element is not present in A, okay, so then you cannot perform that conversion here. Okay, so that is the problem in this case. Now you try to observe this case. Okay, so this is D and E. Okay, so C, D, this element C is not present in string A. This element C is not present in a string A. Okay, so that means if this is the smallest element which needs to be converted, which needs to be modified, it should present in D, no? Because it should present in A, string A, no? Ultimately, when you select the subset, it should present subset. You are selecting this subset. You are selecting from A. Okay, and replacing with smallest letter in this subset. Okay, so that means these letters must present in A. Then only it is possible that you will get this string B from A. Okay, that means all the characters in B must present in A. If any one character is not present in A, then it is not possible. The conversion is not possible. Okay, so this is the very first observation you should make. Okay, so you can just first run a loop and traverse the two strings, and just check okay, so whether these characters are present in all the characters of B are present in A. This is one condition. Okay, so condition 1 is all the characters of B must present in A. Okay, otherwise you can replace -1. That's it, first character. And the second observation what you can do is, now if you see this string A and string B, okay, observe this carefully. String A and string B. Okay, so string B contains the smallest letters of A only. String B contains smallest letters of A. Accepted? Okay, so that means smallest letters of, that means you are replacing the higher letters with smallest letters in B. Okay, so that indicates that all the characters, okay, so all the characters or letters in A, okay, so must be greater than all the characters of B. All the characters of B. Then only it is possible, because you need to replace the higher character with the smallest element. No? Okay, if you have a smallest element already present in B, and that smallest element never replaced with higher element, it never replaced with an higher element. Okay, so like this, say for example, if you have like say A C A B, and if you want to convert this to A D or A C, for example A C, okay, B A B, assume this case here. Okay, so this A can never be changed to C because C is greater than A. Now if you observe here, this B can be changed to smallest element, means it can be changed with A, possible here. C can be replaced with or changed with the smallest element B, it is possible. But if you want to replace this A with the smallest element, okay, so it is not possible because C is not the smallest element of A. That means if you select this subset here, if you select this subset, you can select any subset, no, AC if you select here. Okay, so the smallest element A only, smallest element is A only. Okay, so that means these two should be changed to AA. So ultimately, this A will not be replaced with C. Okay, so that means you never get this string B. This is another second important observation you should make. Okay, so the second condition for failure case is if any character in A, okay, so is less than any character of B. Okay, so if it is less than, I can write here, if it is less than any character of B, then you can replace -1. Directly you can say that it is not possible. Directly you can say -1. Okay, so if these two conditions, if you met these two conditions, then you should see the conversion, which letters to be replaced with a B. Okay, so how to identify those things? Okay, so what you need to do, what you need to do, so you can just find out the characters which are different in A and B with their indices. You can find out with their indices. Okay, so that means indexes of the characters to be replaced. Okay, so here which characters to be replaced here? So that means B and C needs to be replaced here. Okay, so what is the index of B? It, see here. Okay, so B needs to be replaced with which character of B? This is say 0 and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is the letter B needs to be replaced with which character? The character present at index 1. Okay, so we'll store these things. Similarly, C needs to be changed with the character present at index 2 in B. Okay, so index 2 in B. Okay. So these are the two characters that needs to be changed, B and C. Got it? So once you know the character needs to be changed here, okay, so C you can replace with the character. This you can store in the form of a dictionary. This you can store in the form of a dictionary. Okay, so here the key is the character to be replaced and the value is the index of the character in string B. Okay, because ultimately this B has to be changed to the letter present at this index in B. Okay, so this needs to be converted into the letter present at this. It is nothing but selecting a, it is nothing but selecting a subset and replacing. Okay, so selecting the subset and replacing it with these letters, smallest character only. Got it? Okay, so shall we write a program for this? So first I will explain this by using a Python code. Okay, so then we will see how to implement the same thing in a Java. right? So now let us write the code for this. The main program I'm writing here. Okay, so main program I write in another page better. Okay, so here I'll write the main code better. Right. This side I'll write the main program. Okay, because it is very simple. So the first line is n need, you need to read n value here. Okay, so it is integer. So int of input. That's it. Okay, so the second one is the string a. Directly you can read by using the input function in. Then the next line contains string b. Okay, so read by using a input function. It reads. Okay, so now what we do, we directly call the function. Okay, so what we require, minimum number of moves we require now. So we call a function called as a minimum moves. Okay, so then we'll pass these three as arguments to this a b. That's it. Okay, so it finds minimum moves and returns that value. Then it prints either 2, 1 or minus 1 if it is not possible. Okay, so this is our main code. Now we'll define the function. Okay, so let us define the function minimum moves. So the first one is number of characters in each string, second a, and the next one is string b. Okay, so what we need to do, because string is immutable in a Python, you cannot make changes in the string. Okay, so what we do is we'll convert the first string into a list so that you can easily traverse character by character. Okay, so now I am just converting the first string into list here. Okay, so I can just say here we can keep what I do is I take different letters here, string 1, string 2. Instead of this, what I do is, because as per our so I call the actual strings as a small a comma b, the strings which are coming from this function. Okay, a b. Now I convert them into list here. Okay, so how we can convert a string by using the list function here. Okay, so list a. So what happens means now a becomes a list. Okay, so containing each character as an element. Okay, so it is just like a b c a b. It will be list. Okay, so whose index is 0 1 2 3 4. You can easily access each character by using this list. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to map each character in b to the indices. Okay, so where we need to make changes in a okay, so that is called target indices. Okay, so the target indices, as I said, will implement in the form of a dictionary here. Okay, so I call it as a something like a target. Okay, so this target indexes. Okay, so target indexes is equal to. Okay, so for this what we do, we create an empty dictionary initially, then we'll find out and we'll store in this dictionary. Okay, so this is our target indexes dictionary. Okay, assume initially I'm creating an empty dictionary. Okay, right, now you traverse the two strings here. Okay, so the very first condition is whether we can transform or not. Okay, that means we'll traverse both the strings and we'll check if there is any character which is greater than higher character in B, then it is not possible. That indicatment means all characters in A must be greater than all characters of B. Then only it is possible. Okay, character by character we will check here. Okay, so now first condition I am checking here. Okay, so for I in a range, so already n is known to us. Okay, so range of n means, say for example, n value is 5 here, no? So 0 to 4 it generates. I value first takes 0. Okay, so then what we need to check here, this is B. Our B is like a, just you assume I have not yet converted, this is our string a b, no, a b, a b, this is our string B. Okay, so now we will test here. Okay, so first character I am checking here. Okay, so whether it is either it should be equal in B, it should be equal or less than the character present in A. Okay, so that's why I'm checking here. If A of I, the character present in A of I is less than B of I. Okay, so B of I means you can access the string by using this index. Okay, square brackets you can access. It is a string here. Okay, so I'll show this B. B is it's a string here, AAB, AB. Okay, so still you can access string index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can access them easily because list A I need to update. I need to replace A with the other characters. Okay, so that's why I converted this string A into list type. Okay, because strings are immutable. String is immutable in Python. You cannot change the characters in strings. Okay. Now, if A of I, okay, so let us trace this. I value is 0. A of 0 less than B of 0. A of 0 means A less than A. No, false. Okay, so then it goes up. Then it checks B less than A. No. Then I value becomes 2. C less than B. No. Then it checks A less than A. No. False. Then B less than B. No. False. This indicates that there is no character in A which is smaller than the character of B. Okay, so had it been, for example, we'll take the A and B like this. Okay, so A is D and E. This example we will consider. Now what happens, we'll see. And this is your string is C, D, no, here. Now you can see here. So I value is 0. Okay, so this is 0, 1. A of 0 less than B of 0. Now D less than C. D less than C. No. Okay. E less than D. No. Okay. So in this case also the first condition becoming true here. Okay. So when this condition becomes false, as I said in the example, okay, if the string contains a character like this A, okay, so it is just like a B, assume, okay, so B contains a character like A, okay, so something like C and B, assume. So now it checks A less than A, false. Then it checks A less than C. A less than C, yes. Okay, so that means you never convert A into B because A cannot be replaced with the smallest element C. C is not the smallest element to replace the A. Okay, so that's why you never reach the string B here. Okay, so the condition becomes false. That's why in this case what you need to do is, if the condition becomes true in this case, then you should directly return a -1 here. Okay, so the meaning of this is, if the first string A contains a character, okay, so which is less than the character present in B, smaller than the character present in B. Okay, so like this. less than the character present in C, you never conversion. Okay, so you never uh, convert the string A to string B. It is not possible. Okay, so that's why you are returning -1 in this case. Okay, so this loop, so first time you need to check condition 1 here. Okay, so entire string you traverse, this becomes order of n only. The time complexity is order of n only. No problem. Okay, so you are traversing the two strings, string A once, entire string you are traversing and checking. Okay, so if everything is fine, then this loop runs and just comes out. Okay, so once you come out, that indicates that you have all the characters in A greater than the characters of B. Then this is the first condition satisfied. Then the second condition, what you need to check, this is less than characters we will tested here. Okay, right. Then if this is okay, then what we need to do, then we need to check immediately. Okay, so which characters are not matching. If there is any mismatching characters, then you find out their indices. Those are the characters that needs to be modified, that needs conversion. Okay, so like this, now you go on add them to dictionary. Okay, so if this condition is true, then return -1 directly. It comes out from the function, even though from the program it comes out. Okay, so if this condition, first I value 0 I am checking. Okay, so A of 0 less than B of 0, no. Okay, so first condition I am checking. Then I am checking if these two are not equal, that means I identified a non-matching character. That index I must store in the dictionary. I must store that index in the dictionary. Okay, so that's why I check one more if condition here. Okay, so if immediately I'll check here, if A of I is not equals to B of I, if A of I is not equals to B of I. Okay, so that means both are not matching. Okay, so in this case what happens, A of 0 not equals to B of 0, no, A both are matching. Okay, so then it goes up, then it checks with the next character, I becomes a 1 here. Okay, so then it comes here, first it checks this first condition, the loop again repeats here, then it checks A of I less than B of I. A of I means A of 1 less than B of 1, B less than A, no, false. Then it comes here, now you see here, A of 1 not equals to B of 1, B not equals to A, yes, condition becomes true. Okay, so that means we identified a non-matching character. That means this is the character which needs to be changed. So you need to store its index. Okay, so index of which one? Index of this character. Okay, so that is what we'll store here. Okay, so then if this character is not present in target index in the dictionary, if it is not present, then you add to the dictionary. That also you need. If it is already present in the dictionary, okay, so then you add one more. That means there may be different characters which all needs to be changed with this letter A. Okay, so that is what I am checking here. If it is present in the dictionary or not, I need to test here. Okay, so how I can test? If B of I, now see here, this is the character by which I need to replace. This is the character by which I need to replace. Okay, so if B of 1, okay, so E is not, okay, so if B of 1 is, okay, so here, if B of 1 not in the dictionary, okay, so you check like this, if B of 1 not, okay, so not in, okay, so it is not in, what is our dictionary name? Target indexes. Okay, so if it is not in a present in target indexes, okay, so then what you do is you add this character into the dictionary. Okay, so if it is not present, what you need to do? You need to add it. Okay, so then you say target indexes. Target indexes of, okay, so you should make it as a key here. Okay, so you should make it as a key here. Then you say b of I. Target indexes of b of I. Okay, so since it is not present, okay, so all such characters you should store as a list, as I shown here. Okay, so you should store like all the indexes as a list here. For this b, the character to be replaced, what are the indexes? Okay, so that's why you create an empty list here. Okay, so what happens with this? Now see here, b of 1 not in the target index, it is not present in the target index. Okay, so then it creates a key with character a. Okay, then the value is an empty list it creates. Okay, so all the indexes it stores a, in which indexes it should be replaced in the string a, first string. Okay, right. So then what we need to do? Now we identified one index. This index 1 we identified. Now this is the character to be replaced. Now you add it to this one. Okay, so since it is not present, now I am creating an empty list. Now what I do is, if it is already present, I'll simply add it to this one. Okay, so that's why what I do is, after coming out from this, say target indexes of b of I. Target indexes of b of I. Okay, so this gives what? Target indexes of b of I means it gives the key a. Okay, so for this a I am trying to store. Okay, so what I am trying to store? I need to store the index. This index 1 I need to store now. So how we can add? You cannot use equal symbol here. So what we can do is, we can use the append method here. Okay, so for that, because already there is an empty list, no, so to add an element to empty list, we use the append method. Append. Okay, so the index which is the I value here. Okay, so target indexes of b of I, it indicates target indexes of b of I is what? B of 1. B of 1 means it is letter a. Okay, so then it goes to this key a. Okay, so for this key, now the value contains a empty list. Okay, so to this empty list you append the value I. So what is I here? Index of the character which needs to be changed in a. Okay, so that one I am storing here. Got it? Okay, so if another b is there, for example in the next place another b is there. Okay, so that b needs to be changed with a again. Okay, so in such case what happens? Just see here, assume that if our string is like this, a b b. Okay, so c a b, this needs to be changed like a a. Okay, so this is b and a b. Now this 0 1 2 3 4 5 a and then, okay, so now this b needs to be changed with a. Okay, so what we are doing in the dictionary, we are storing a key value pairs. Okay, so key is nothing but the character in b which needs to be replaced at indexes in a. All such indexes we are storing in a as value for this a in the dictionary. Okay, so that is what we need to do here. For example, I value now becomes 2 here. No, now check here. Okay, I value becomes 2 for this string. I am checking here. Okay, just look at the string here. I value is now 2. A of 2 less than b of 2. A of 2 less than b of 2. No, false. Then it comes here. A of 2 not equals to b of 2. A of 2 not equals to b of 2. Yes, not equals to b of 2. Okay, now check out here. If b of I not in target indexes, b of I means b of 2, this a not in target indexes, already it is there. That means we already encountered this letter A which is to be replaced, and it's one index we identified. Okay, so then it won't execute this if condition here false. Now it comes out. That means now since it is already present, just we store its index here. That is what's here. Target indexes of b of 2. B of 2 indicates what? This is b of 2 means A. Okay, so for this key A, you are appending the index I value is now 2. No, so it adds one more index like 2 it adds. That means index 1 and index 2 in string A needs to be replaced with character A. Needs to be replaced with character A. This B and B, see here, needs to be replaced with A here as per our this thing. That is what we are writing here. Okay, so but for our case it is not there. For our given example, it is only 1 in this case. Okay, right? Got it? Okay, so now what happens? It goes up, I value becomes 2 now. I value becomes 2 now. Again it checks. Okay, so A of 2 less than B of 2, no, condition becomes false here. Okay, so then comes here, A of 2 not equals to B of 2. Now see here, A of 2 not equals to B of 2. Yes, C not equals to B. Yes, then it checks B of 2 not in target. B of 2 is what? B. Okay, so B not in the dictionary target indexes. B is present, no, not there. Okay, so if it is not there, what it does? It creates an empty list for the key as a B here. Okay, so that means what happens with this? It creates one more element in the dictionary. The key is B and the value is empty list it creates. Okay, so now to that empty list it adds B of 2 dot append. I value is now 2. No, so then it adds the index 2. That means index 2 in A needs to be replaced with the letter B. Needs to be replaced with the letter B. That is what here. Okay, so next I value becomes 3 here. Now it checks A of 3 less than B of 3. A of 3, A less than A, no. Okay, so then again it checks A not equals to A. No, this is not executed. Okay, so then I value becomes 4 here. Okay, so then it checks same BB. No, so B less than B, no. B not equals to B, no. That's it. So this loop ends here. Okay, so this we identified. Okay, so the characters which needs to be replaced we identified here. Then what we need to do now, you need to perform the moves. Okay, so count how many moves you need to perform. So sometimes from this example you can just say that since there are only 2 characters to be replaced, okay, so directly you can count the keys in this and you can return 2 as a here. But in this case here, okay, so for this case now see, A needs to be replaced at 2 indices like 1 comma 2, and B needs to be replaced at some. Okay, so sometimes it may have some values present here. Okay, so for all these moves you need to perform the changes of these characters in A. Okay, so these gives the number of moves here. Okay, but you need to perform the move as per our, because replace with smallest character is given. No, so that is what we need to perform here. Okay, so we will count the number of moves here. So initially we'll take, after coming out from this loop, I am taking the moves initially with a 0. Number of moves I am taking as a 0 here. Okay, so now what we do, we process only the characters needs to be changed. Okay, so which characters, what characters we needs to be changed. Okay, so them we will process and we will change them. Okay, so for this what you need to do is you need to traverse this dictionary in reverse order. You need to traverse this dictionary in reverse order. Okay, because always the letters in descending order. Okay, so B should be replaced with the next letter A. Okay, so then in this case, now see here. Okay, so C should be replaced with B should be replaced with A. Okay, so if you replace A first here, if you replace with A first here, that means the B changes to A here, then this C also becomes A here, then you won't end up with this letter B as per the definition. Okay, so that's why you should process the dictionary in the descending order. Okay, so replacing from highest element to lowest element, you should go on replacing them. Okay, so then only it is possible to obtain this string B. Okay, so as per the definition, because you the smallest element if you replace, no, so you end up other characters also with that smallest element. Okay, so that means we ensure that we don't overwrite a smaller needed latter. Okay, so A is required latter. First we need to replace with B. Okay, so that's why you should process them in the reverse order. Okay, so for that, to sort this dictionary, we have a function called as a sorted in a Python. Okay, so we traverse the dictionary first and we get all the indices. Okay, so for that we run a loop here. Okay, so then we get the character. Okay, so something like a target, which character we need to replace now. So we identify the target character or target character in. Okay, so where from the dictionary you should get. So what is our dictionary name? It is target indexes. This is our dictionary. Okay, so target indexes is our dictionary. So from this you should get the keys are the target characters. Okay, so keys are the target characters. So then target indexes dot keys, when you say, then it gives you all the keys like A and B will be returned here. Okay, so it gives all the keys in a list here. Okay, so A you will get, B you will get, all the keys you will get in the same order. Okay, so but you want these to be in reverse sorted order. Okay, so for this what you need to do is you need to call the function on this dictionary sorted. Okay, so it sorts and but when it sorts in ascending order. So but we want this to be in a descending order. Okay, so for this sorted function what you do is you pass the dictionary. Okay, so then you give an attribute called as a reverse is equal to. Okay, so then say true. That means this indicates that you sort the dictionary in reverse order. Sort the dictionary in reverse order. Okay, so it gets all the keys from the dictionary. Okay, then sorts them in reverse order. Then you will get a dictionary of this kind, V A, and you will get a list here. Okay, so from this list one by one character will be sent to this target character. Okay, so first the B will be sent to this target character. Okay, so that is what we understood here. First we need to replace this B. C should be replaced with B here. B is the character which needs to be replaced in A, no? So first we should replace C with B. That is what. Okay, so B we identified. So in which indexes we should write this B, those indexes you should get here. Now we got the target character. So this is our target character, we got B. Now try to get its indexes. Okay, so where are its indexes? Its indexes are present as value in the dictionary. Now you got the key. Now get its index, in which places it needs to be replaced. Okay, so how to get that? So you get all the indexes. Okay, so you get all the indexes. Since indexes are stored in the form of a list here, you define a variable called as indices. Okay, so how you can get how you can retrieve this value here? Just if you say that, if you give the key name, it gives you the value present with that key. Okay, so that's why you can just write here target indices. Okay, so target indexes of okay, so then of key. Okay, so this key where we are storing in this variable target character. So it says that target indexes of B. Target indexes of B means the list associated with this B in the dictionary will be returned, that will be stored. Now your variable indices contains a list 2 here containing the index. That means at index 2 in A, string A, you need to replace this letter B. Okay, so now you got the character. Okay, so another important point, if this character is present in A, then only you can do that. Okay, so that check now you can perform here instead of performing at the beginning. Now you can perform. Now you got a this say something like a D E, I said. Okay, so this D should be replaced with a C here, and E should be replaced with D in this case. Understand this? Okay, so if you want to replace this D with C, the C must present in A. This is your A, string A. Okay, the C should present in A, then only it is possible. Okay, otherwise it is not possible. You can return -1 itself. So instead of running another loop separately, okay, so then here itself you test this. Okay, whether this character is already present in A. If present, then only it is possible. Okay, so that check you perform here now. So after getting this indices, okay, so what you do is now you perform inside this loop. Now you check here if, okay, so if your target character, what is our target character? B is the target character. Okay, so if it is not present in a string A, if it is not present in a string A, so directly you can return a -1 in this case. That's it. Now if you observe our string here, okay, so ABC, AB and AAB. Okay, I am writing here ABC, AB, this is string A, okay, and string B is AAB, AB. Okay, so all these characters now, this B is now need to be replaced with C is need to be replaced with B. Okay, this B present in this A. Yes, it is present in A at index 1 and at index 4. At least once it should present in this string A. Then only it is possible to replace C with this letter B. Okay, if you observe C, these are the two characters that needs to be replaced now. These two are already present in A. Then only we'll say conversion is possible. That is what we are checking here. Okay, so we got this list, indexes list. Then we are checking whether this B is already present in A or not. If not present, then we return A. Okay, so if the condition false means it is present. Now you replace. Okay, so this C with the B. Okay, so how you can replace this C with B? How you can write the statement for that? Now perform the move. That is what here. Okay, so since there is only one value in this list, okay, as I said, sometimes it may be containing some 2-3 values. All these indices must be replaced with letter B. Okay, so that means you should run a loop here. Okay, so that is what I am checking here. Okay, so now you perform the loop. That means if condition false means it is possible. Okay, so one move we have encountered here. So increment the move value here. So moves plus is equal to 1. We are doing one move, one operation we are performing. We are replacing one character with another character. One character of A with another character. Okay, so for that what we need to do? We need to run a loop here. Okay, so for index you get all the indexes from this one by one. Okay, so one by one index you get from this indices. Okay, so for index in indices, for index in indices, what it does, when you run a loop on list, one by one character it will supply, one by one character it will supply. First it supplies 1 to this variable index. Okay, then it supplies 2 to this variable, next it supplies 4 to this variable until you reach end of the list. The loop repeats here. Okay, so since our indices contains only one value 2 here. Okay, it contains only one value 2 here, so you will get 2 here. Okay, so now you replace the character in a. How you can access this? A of index, a of index is equals to, okay, so which character? Target character, target character. Now see, a is a list here, please remember it is not a string, a is a list. Okay, so that's why I am replacing this a with a target character. So what is our target character? B is our target character. Okay, so we got a B as our target character from this first. This one will be supplied to this after sorting. Okay, so B will be supplied into target character. Okay, so that means the value present in A now will be replaced with B. I take another color. Now this will be replaced with B. C is now replaced with B. Okay, so since there is only one index, the loop repeats only one time. Okay, so then again it goes up, then it supplies the next character. Okay, so A it supplies to target character. Then again you need to get all the indices of A in which you need to replace. Okay, so the character A indices you should get here. So how you will get? Target indices of target char. Target char is A. So that means from this dictionary, from this dictionary. Okay, so this is our dictionary, it gives all the values. This list it supplies. Okay, so this list it supplies, that is what is present in this indices. Now indices contains the list containing the value 1 here. Okay, then it checks target char not in A. What is the target character here? A is the target character. Okay, so is it not present in A? It is present, so that's why it becomes a false here. Okay, so then it comes here. So once you are coming out from the loop, it indicates that move is possible, so that's why I'm incrementing this move value. Move plus is equal to 1, so move becomes 2 here. So move's value will become 2 here. Okay, so now perform the replacement here. So I am running the loop here. Now you can see this time this is indices. Okay, so what you will get into this? So 1 you will get into index variable here. Now A of 1 is equal to target character, so target character is A here. Okay, so A of 1 means this one. Now this is replaced with the target character A, replaced with A. Okay, so that's it. Now the loop ends, this loop ends here because there are only two elements present in this list. Okay, two elements present in this list, then this loop ends. So once you come out from the loop, that means two operations you performed, two moves you performed. After two moves, now you can see here, this is the string A which is converted into string B, same as string B. That means you performed the conversion, you perform the conversion successfully. A B, which is same as, no need to compare again. Just once you did all the conversion, automatically it comes to the form in which B is present. Okay, so directly you can just return the variable called as a moves, which is 2. In this case it returns 2 values. Got it? So this is how you should write a code Now execute this code and test with the given test cases. So the problem, you need to understand the problem very clearly. Okay, so the given rules you should understand clearly, and how to identify that the very false case you should understand first. How we can say that it is not possible. Okay, so if you observe the strings, given strings carefully, okay, their alignment, their arrangement, then you can get these two conditions. This is what problem solving skill. These you need to develop. Okay, so this comes by practice. If you practice number of problems, then you get these kind of ideas. So let us execute this code. Okay, so we will execute the code, and we will see whether our code works perfectly or not. We will test our code. Okay, so let us go back to online compiler. Okay, we'll go back to online compiler. Just give me a minute. Let me open online compiler. Let me share online compiler with you. Now this is our online Python compiler. Okay, so done. So quickly we'll type the code and we'll see the execution of this code. Yes, I'm removing everything. So first we need to write the main code here. No, okay, I'm just writing the main code here. Okay, so first we need to read input values. So int of input. Then we need to read the string A. So directly you can read input here. Then string B you need to read. So input. Then call the function. You can use the function directly in print. Okay, so what is the function name? Minimum moves. Okay, so then pass the three variables. Okay, so n, a and b you pass as arguments. That's it. The function returns the value that will be printed here. Okay, so we can see now we need to define the function here. Okay, so define the function diff. Now you can say min moves. So what are the values? N. Okay, so I collect in small variable a and b. Okay, so what you need to do first, you need to convert the first string into list because string is immutable. Okay, so you convert this into list. Okay, so then the second step is what you need to do? Target indexes. Okay, so you need to find out all the target indexes which needs to be replaced. So you define a dictionary here. Okay, so target indexes is equals to empty dictionary. I'm defining here. Okay, so then run the loop here. Okay, so for I in a range of n. So character by character you process in A and B and you test. Okay, so the very first unsuccessful case is if A of I if A of I is less than B of I. Okay, if there is any character smaller than B of I character in A. Okay, so then directly you can return a -1. This indicates that all the characters in A must be greater than or equal to all the characters of B. Okay, if any smaller character is there, you cannot replace smaller character with a higher character. Okay, so this condition says that. Then the second condition is, now wherever for all the mismatched characters you get their indices replace. Okay, in which indexes it needs to be replaced. Okay, so for that we use another condition. Okay, so if A of I not equals to B of I, this is what we have written. Okay, so that indicates that we identified the character to be replaced here. This condition indicates character to be replaced. Okay, so we check. Now you create that character as a key in the dictionary. Okay, so if it is already present, then you just add it. Otherwise you create a new key with that character, target a character. Okay, so then you say if b of I not in a target indexes. Okay, so if it is not present in the dictionary, what you do is you create a key and its value should be an empty list, because all indexes you should store, no, they must be stored in the form of a list there. Okay, so that's why you create a key here, B of I, you say B of I, and now you create a empty list here. Okay, now to this empty list, now you add the index here. Okay, so if it is not present, you are creating the key. Okay, so if it is present, directly you come here. Okay, so you will come to this and you add the index. Okay, so B of I is the key. For this key, now you append. Okay, so just say append I is the index. So all such indexes will be appended to the list for that key. Okay, so this code we have written here. Okay, so that means we identified all non-matching characters which needs to be replaced. This if condition says that. Okay, and we stored their indexes in the dictionary, that is target indexes. Okay, so now you perform all the moves there. Okay, so for that we declare a variable called as a, this you should do after coming out from the for loop. Okay, so moves is equal to 0. You declare moves as a 0. Okay, so then you created dictionary, no? So now run a loop on the dictionary and get all the indexes, target character and their indexes where it should be replaced. Okay, so for that you run a for loop here. So for something like target, the key becomes the target character now. Okay, so for target character in, okay, so target indexes, so target indexes keys becomes, now it is a dictionary. Okay, so all the keys it returns, those keys becomes the target characters. Okay, so they must be sorted. Okay, so that's why you pass it to the function called as sorted, and reverse order you should traverse, no? Okay, so you just say reverse is equal to true, reverse is equal to true. So like B comma A, you get the list, you will get the first character B will be supplied to this target character. Okay, so for that B you get all the indices. Okay, so list of indices you get into a variable called as a indices. Okay, so indices is equal to, how you will get, just by supplying the dictionary name, okay, of, then supply the key value. Okay, so that key is present here it is present in the target character. Okay, so target indices of target character. Okay, so it gives the value which is a list of indices. Okay, so another important condition is it must present in a. Okay, so this character must present in a target character. Okay, so then only you should do the conversion, otherwise you can directly return -1. Okay, so what you do is you test here if target character. Okay, so if this target character is not in a, even you can write at the above also, no problem. If it is not in a, directly you return -1. So if you don't do this check, okay, so you may fail with some of the test cases. Your code may fail satisfying some of the test cases. Okay, so if it is present, now you perform the moves. That means one move you are performing now, immediately you increment the value of moves here. Okay, so moves plus is equals to 1. Okay, so then since it is a list, you need to run a for loop. Okay, so for index in indices. So you are getting all the indices one by one. Okay, so now you replace the characters of a with these indices. Okay, so with the target character. So a of index is equal to target character. So it replaces with the target character. So that's it. So first B will be replaced. C. Okay, so C will be replaced by the target character is B here. Okay, so it replaces with the B. Then next, in the second case, the target character is A. A will be replaced. Okay, so like this, the code returns all the things. Then once you come out from this, what you do is you return the variable called moves variable here. Okay, so bring the main code near to this. Now this is your code. Okay, so let us run this code. Now it is waiting for the input here. So input is 5. Now we will supply the string A, B, C, A, B is first string. Then A, B, A, B is the second string. Now you can see the number of moves displayed as a 2. Displayed as a 2. If you want to test with your own test cases containing 2 different strings. Okay, so if you assume that the code may fail somewhere, you can just type your 2 strings in the chat and I will test those 2 strings against this code. You can type the strings if you want to test. So otherwise we'll go with the available test cases. Okay, so what I do is I just run this code again. Okay, so this time I pass the test cases to, then we'll say D is the first case, CD is the second test case. Now it returns -1 because C is not present in a, the character C is not present in a first string. Okay, so that's why it returns a -1. Okay, and similarly you can also test another way. First case, say for example A, B, C, A, B. Okay, so then if it has to be replaced, if B contains a higher character. Okay, so if you say A, C, B, A, B. Okay, so in this case also it returns -1 because C is greater than B here. Okay, so all the characters in a string A, first string, must be greater than all the characters of a second string. Then only it is possible. The conversion is possible because the rule says that replace always with smallest character. So B, if you want to replace with smallest character, it should be done with A, but it cannot be replaced with the next higher character. So that's why conversion is not possible, and it gives -1 in this case. Got it? So like this, you can design your own test cases based on the problem statement, and you can test those strings against your code. Okay, so since if a string contains only one character, okay, so if it is, say for example, uh, a and should be replaced with a, okay, so now you can see number of moves 0, because already it is in the same form, no need to perform any moves, no, so that's why it shows the number of moves as a 0. Okay, so you can take this boundary condition 1. If the string first string is a and you need to convert into b, okay, so what you will get here? Is it possible conversion? No, not possible. That's why you get -1, because b is greater than a, so it is not possible. Okay, in other way, if this is the case, for example, first string contains b and second string contains a, now see, in this case it is also -1. Why? Because this character a, second test case, a must present in b, then only it is possible. Since a is not present in the first string, then conversion is not possible. That's why it says that -1 answer, conversion not possible. Okay, so like this you can design your own test cases and test your code. If you have any doubts, you can just uh, type all your doubts in the chat. And in the next video, we will discuss the Java code for this problem. Okay, so in the next lecture, I'll discuss the Java code, how to write Java code. Okay, so in Python, we have used dictionary, in Java, which data structure to be used and how it can be handled in Java. Okay, so those things we will learn in the next video. Okay, so friends, that's all for today. So if you found this video useful, and if you enjoyed the session, so please like the video and also share the video. And if you are new to the channel, so please subscribe to the channel, join TCSNQT WhatsApp group, and join Telegram group for more such updates, programming related updates and placement related updates, notifications. So once you subscribe, turn on the bell icon, you will get all such notifications, and practice more sums of this kind, especially on arrays and strings, and you can easily solve question 1 in your NQT examination. So thank you one and all. Have a great day. Happy learning, happy coding. Thank you.